I'm going to start by giving a little bit of a timeline on how we got where we're at today. On July the 17th, which is a Wednesday afternoon, we were notified by the administration at Cardinal Newman High School that they had information about a student that had communicated a threat against students at Cardinal Newman. Within 3 hours of receiving that notification, we had already had a search warrant, was executing a search warrant, and we made an arrest. We seized numerous weapons from a residence. We arrested a 16-year-old. We charged the 16-year-old with making student threats. This is a new law that went into effect last May 2018. This is a 10-year misdemeanor. The student was charged with that. Normally when a juvenile is arrested, the juvenile is released back to the parents, and then they're summoned to family court at some point. We did not do that evening. We arrested that 16-year-old, and we detained the 16-year-old in the Alvarez Glen juvenile facility. At that point, the case is turned over to the solicitor's office. The solicitor's office takes the case from there on, and they move it through family court. I cannot discuss what's happened after we made the arrest and we put the student into the Alvarez Glen. I cannot discuss anything from that point on about what has occurred. I will tell you that after our arrest, that we felt that the opportunity for any harm to come to any students at Cardinal Newman or anywhere else had been stopped. And we still feel that way based on us making that arrest. Our investigation into those threats continued. We're not finished. It did not end with the arrest that day. We continued to investigate it right on up to today. Let's switch gears. The videos that's been distributed. The videos came to our attention on Saturday, the 13th. Again, the administration at Cardinal Newman gave us the videos. As shocking and disturbing as the videos are, there's no state law against those videos and what people have seen on those videos. Once we received the videos, we contacted the FBI. We've been working with the FBI, particularly the Joint Terrorism Task Force. We've also consulted with the United States Attorney's Office, and we continue to do that. There's no law in South Carolina that would have allowed us to do anything and make an arrest on those videos. And when the threats made in the school, we were able to do that. But just those videos that certain media and social media has put out, we can't do anything about that. And I think a lot of people in our community don't understand that's seen those videos, that want to know why we haven't arrested someone and charged someone with those videos, because there's no state law. Our state has done a lot. We've suffered a lot. After the Manual 9, I think we made a lot of progress. But it is an absolute shame that this state does not have a law against hate crime. And if this is not an example of why we should have a state law, I can't imagine anything else that could happen. Our legislators have got to take some action. We've waited too long. We've suffered too long. People continue to suffer. Look at the turmoil that these videos have caused in our community. The fear that these videos have caused. And there's nothing as a law enforcement officer that I can do to go arrest someone for that. And that's just an absolute shame. The administration at Cardinal Newman, I will say, have worked with us from the very first moment. There's been absolutely no hesitation on their part. They've cooperated with us. We've kept them up to date on what we've got. They've given us whatever information they've received. So they've worked with us very closely on this. Again, as a parent of a 16-year-old, it scares the heck out of me to see videos like this and think that we have people in our community that would do harm to students at a school. As the sheriff, my job is to protect people, and I take that very seriously. We all do that work here, and that's what we've done in this case. It's a disturbing case, but I hope that a lot of positive things can come out of this. One thing, I think parents have to be more involved with their young people on social media, know what they're posting, know what they're looking at, what they're doing. That's a responsibility of a parent. I do applaud the parents that have come forward and have given us information. When they've seen stuff, they didn't hesitate. They've come forward with it. This has been a community effort, and it's going to take a community effort for us to move forward on this. But we're continuing to investigate it, and we will until I get all the answers that everybody wants to know. Unfortunately, I might not be able to share those answers with you, but we're going to do it. The media, the ethical media, y'all are bound also by identifying a juvenile. And it's no different than me, so I'll be glad to start answering questions, but understand there's probably some stuff that I'm not going to be able to answer. Again, questions?
Do you know the person who shot the video?
Again, we're still working on this case.
Do you know if it's another teen, a peer, or an adult?
We are continuing to investigate it.
Is the one charge you mentioned the only one against the 16-year-old in question at this time?
That's the charge that we made the arrest on.
All right.
Does the solicitor's office refer to you or ask you if you want to elevate a charge to charge a juvenile as an adult? Do they seek your opinion, or do they make that decision completely on their own?
It's usually a joint effort.
What would you recommend to them then?
It's a joint effort, and we have discussions on that. And again, what the solicitor's office does, they're in charge of the prosecution. We do the investigation, we get the facts. In this case, we made the arrest. What happens from now on is that's up to them.
Can you explain why in the incident report it said that the student was expelled when in fact we learned he was able to withdraw?
I can only go by what we were told, and that's what was put in the incident report.
Were you told that by the school?
That's what we placed in the incident report. That's the information that we received.
Has the sheriff's office had to come in contact with this 16-year-old before?
I can't answer that. Sorry.
Your public information office has a history, historically speaking, of sending out press releases, even when you have other minors who are giving school threats at other schools. So can you explain why there was seemingly no timely release in this case?
Well, the timely release was a decision that we had to make. And again, I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. We felt with the arrest, the opportunity was not there any longer for a threat to be made at the school. And again, we were still investigating it. Normally when we do a release, it's when we find someone at a school that's got a weapon, case is closed, that's it. So this one wasn't closed, and it continues to still be investigated. So that played into our decision also. The threat wasn't there anymore. We felt like we had eliminated the threat, and we were still investigating it.
Can you talk to the status of the case? You said he was charged with threatening school. Has he pleaded guilty to that? Is the case still pending on it?
I can't discuss that.
Do you know if the charges are going to be reduced?
I can't discuss any of that again, and it's not.
We're probably going to have a lot of that answer, but
It's going to be a lot of that answer, and I'm sorry. That's I'm bound by the law. I can go to the point where we made the arrest and what we made the initial arrest, and what we did with the juvenile when we made the arrest. I can't discuss anything after that.
What does he face as far as sentencing if he is found guilty?
Again, the charge that we made the arrest on is a misdemeanor that's up to 10 years.
Sheriff, is this investigation just centered right now around this one teenager, the people in the group chat, or is it expanded beyond those videos?
Again, we're going to look at everything, so I can't say that it's confined to any particular thing.
People in the public, in our comments, I'm sure other media have gotten it too, concerned. We've heard this family is very well politically connected. What would you address to the public that they can have trust in this investigation and the way it's being handled?
I am not going to address anybody's relationship with the juvenile that we arrested, but I will tell you that we never give preferential treatment to anyone, and no preferential treatment has been given to anyone in this case whatsoever.
And can you talk about your frustration? You mentioned with state law that there is no current hate crime legislation, and explain to the public why that handcuffs you in this case.
You look at this video, and I think that is probably a definition of what a hate crime is, and there's no law against that in South Carolina. I think we're only one of 4 states in America that doesn't have that. And I know South Carolina always says that we're unique, but I don't think the other 46 states have got it wrong when it comes to that. And, it's frustrating that you have some comments that are made, actions that are taken, and as law enforcement that you can't do nothing about it. That's very frustrating.
Sheriff, what do you say to the kids, the parents, the teachers, administrators going back to the school, coming up here in a couple of weeks? What should they be looking for? What kind of safety aspect are they going to have going back to school?
Have faith in us that we're going to protect them, that the school's going to do all they can to protect them, and that we're going to do the same thing. We have school resource officers, we have our deputies, we have everything that we have to make sure that our schools are safe. That's one of our number 1 priorities, is making sure that our kids are safe when they go to school, and the teachers and the staff are safe also. So we do a lot. And the worst thing that we can do is live in fear. When we live in fear, we allow domestic terrorists, hate crime people, we allow them to control us, and when they impact our lives like that, be cautious, be concerned, but don't live in fear. And that's what I tell people. Let's don't live in fear. Again, I got a 16-year-old daughter. She goes to school. I have to see her off every morning, knowing that she's going to go to school too. But I send her to school. I have faith in law enforcement and faith in the schools that they're going to protect her.
Since it's a private school, do they have a school resource officer?
No, it's a private school. They don't have a school resource officer, but they do work with us. We do things to help them make sure that school is safe and secure. We do that for all our schools.
Do you know if the 16-year-old is still in state custody?
Can't discuss that.
Will
Sorry.
there be any increased security on the first week of school, or any measures that will be taken?
I believe so. I was contacted by the school today, and they've asked us they want to hire some deputies to be there, probably for a period of time when school starts.
From your perspective as a law enforcement officer, should parents and students, wherever this student ends up in another school, feel safe with him and walking their halls?
I can't talk about that. From my perspective is that I think we all do stuff that we can to protect our schools, and that, again, you have to have a certain amount of trust in law enforcement and the school to make sure it's safe to go to. So as far as that student, I can't discuss that student.
Is this the first student who's been charged under that new law in Richland County that you know of?
Second.
Sheriff, does it bother you that whoever got this video in that group chat a month or 2 months, I guess, to report it to the school? Because you said they reported it to y'all pretty much immediately when you received it. Does it bother you that that video went around for months?
It does. It bothers me that some parent didn't see it sooner, that we didn't have a parent that's monitoring their child's social media. It bothers me that we got students that look at something like that and didn't come forward, but someone did. Someone finally did. And when they did, not only did the school take action, we took action very quickly. So there's good and bad about it. You've seen the good that people did report it, and the bad is that some people didn't report it. That's the world we live in. Every day people see things that just shock them, and it's disturbing, and I don't want to get involved and don't say anything. Sadly, we have people like that.
This speaks to the investigation, I think, so maybe you'll be able to answer this. Are there other videos connected related to directly encourage? This one that was created, and were those created by I'm just going to refer to it as the defendant or peers?
It's still investigating it, so I'm not going to comment on that.
Okay. Does the what about this rumor that going around that this was some sort of game or prank of making more egregious videos?
We deal with facts, not rumors.
Sure. I talked to a student from a different school who said they were receiving the videos, and all the different schools were receiving the video. Have any of the other schools contacted you about precautions you guys are taking at their schools as well?
We do that anyway. We're gearing up for the school year, so this is something we naturally do every school year. So we're we're doing that. We're already making sure our SROs are trained. We're making sure our security analysis is done at all of our schools. I mean, we're gearing up just like the teachers are now getting prepared for their classrooms. We're doing the same thing. So we do that anyway.
As part of your investigation, can you explain why whoever would be recording these videos would also not be considered a threat to a school?
Again, that's part of our investigations that we got to continue doing.
In light of everything going on around the country, does this feel like a crisis averted moment?
Yes, I think with what we've seen that's happened this past weekend, I think that really makes people aware of just the world we live in, America we live in right now, and that I think this incident probably opens people's eyes up to say that it's not just going to happen in El Paso or Dayton. It can happen here in Columbia, South Carolina. So we all need to be aware of that.
As part of your investigation, did they tell you it was a joke or trying to be?
Again, I can't comment on that.
How many guns were confiscated from the home?
I think approximately 20.
Were guns the only thing confiscated from that home?
That's not going to discuss that, but I will say about 20 guns were taken from the home.
What do you say to parents who already feel like the school and law enforcement have not told them enough and now hear a press conference saying you can't answer? What's your message to them?
You have to trust us. There's got to be a certain amount of trust in that we're doing the right thing. You know, we're parents too. You know, we have children. And, you know, so it's not just a job for us. It's something that we care about. We want to make sure, you know, the children in our community is protected just like our children. So you have to trust us at some point, and that's what we're asking people to do. And when I stand up here and say that, you know, we felt like the opportunity for something to happen at that school had been stopped when we made the arrest, I can't explain why, but at some point you have to trust us. And I hope that the community does, and I think the majority of the community does trust us that we're doing the right thing and that we are protecting our kids, not just at this school, but all our schools every day.
One of the questions parents have had is, when we go back to sending out the news release and such, is that you made the arrest, but they would contend that students have been on campus all summer for different kinds of sports and activities, and they wanted to know sooner because their kids were on campus. So can you kind of explain the thought process behind delicately deciding how you were going to go about releasing this information?
When we made the arrest, the opportunity for someone at that school to be injured, we felt had been stopped. That's the thought process. Even though there were students there for the summer, we believe, and we still believe, that that threat for anything happening at school over this incident had been stopped.
Sheriff, how much of a danger do you think this 16-year-old who you arrested is to the community?
I can't discuss that. We made an arrest, and we based the arrest on a threat that was made to a school.
Can you talk about, for you as a law enforcement officer doing it a long time, when you saw the videos, what was your reaction as someone who has a daughter in these high schools?
Shocked and disgusting. I mean, I don't think anybody who sees that video would not be shocked by it and disgusted by it. So, yeah, that's a professional view, and that's also a personal view. You're shocked and disgusted when you see something like that.
Do you foresee any adults being charged?
Again, we're still investigating it.
What about any seized devices like computers or anything? And if y'all would seize those, did you investigate them and find anything like white supremacist websites, far-right-leaning websites that they visited?
All that is part of our investigation.
Will there be any additional charges for the fact that he was under 18 and using weapons, using guns, as opposed to being 18?
There was no law that he violated by shooting those guns.
Sheriff, with all the, again, national news of these mass shootings in the past year, what would you say, in your opinion, something that we can do to stop this continual mass shootings and school shootings?
Parents be more aware of what their kids are doing. Kids feel comfortable enough that they can tell parents or a school resource officer, an adult, when they see something like that that's disturbing or there's a threat. I think we all got to work together, and I think that's the answer to it. Unfortunately, we got bad people in in our communities, in our world. And we have to, all of us have to fight against them, not just administration at a school and not just the cops. It's got to be all of us got to do that. So I think that's the message, is that, you know, we all come together after a tragedy. Let's come together before we have a tragedy to stop them.
Your incident report had mentioned it had a May date, but nothing really associated to that. Can you talk about why that May date was on there, what it references?
No, I can't. Sorry.
What about federal investigation? Have you been in touch with federal investigators, or do you think it'll be a federal investigation?
Travis, I don't want to point you out, but I already addressed that. We've talked to the United States Attorney's Office, and we talked to the FBI, Joint Terrorism Task Force.
You talked
Thanks
a lot
for
about trust. So what would your message be to some parents who say that trust was broken when the Sheriff's Department didn't immediately disclose that arrest?
That's a decision that we made because investigation was still continuing, and we didn't want to interfere with our investigation. And again, we felt like that the threat was not present. And when we release press releases about a school, it will be very simple. A 15-year-old has been arrested for bringing a gun to a school. That's it. So if we'd have did a press release then, we would have just said a 16-year-old has been arrested for making a threat against Cardinal Newman. That'd have been it. And then, you know, but the threat wasn't there anymore. So this was different. The investigation was continuing. Difference between normal cases we make. The arrest is made, that ends the case. This case is continuing.
Can you talk about, and I know we've asked this a few different ways, but trying to explain it again, is it because of the lack of hate crimes in South Carolina, legislation about that the original videos with him using guns and saying racially charged things you couldn't really do much for?
Right. Well, based on no law against what we saw, there was nothing we could do for the videos when we saw them on the 13th.
So that's not considered a threat because he hadn't.
Correct.
Now, in conjunction with that, the other states that have these laws, does he have to threaten a person, or it's just what's going on in the video where he's making overall racist statements?
I haven't looked at all the other states' hate crime laws. That's what I think is being done. I think we've got legislators doing that. I think we've got local politicians doing that. I think now this has got people's attention, and I hope we just don't talk about it now for the next couple of days or a week or so and then forget about it. Something needs to be done. So I don't know, you know, what the other hate crime laws are in other states, but we need something.
You
You know-
go ahead.
Do you know if in the other states, if we had the hate crime law here, what he would be charged with?
No, I don't.
You talked about being shocked and disgusted, and you said that you would hope anyone who saw that is shocked and disgusted, and is by evidence that the video exists. That's not always the case. What's law enforcement's message to your minority community that's had to watch this and experience this and feels like it took too long for them to find out?
I'm standing with them. It shocked me, and I'm standing. I don't care what color you are. That just shocks you, and that's disgusting on that video. And you know, all of our communities, we fight for and protect every single day, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
When you saw when the deputies got the first set of videos, the racist set of videos, did they refer them to the solicitor's office and have a consultation and conclude that there was no way of charging? Did y'all have a discussion?
That's correct. Again, we already knew it, but again, most of our cases we consult with the solicitor's office from the very beginning because they're the ones going to prosecute the case. So,
Can you tell us why you decided not to release him back to Guardian?
that was a decision that the investigators made and that we all made that night, that we were not going to release him, that we were going to detain him.
And can you speak about
No.
why?
One more.
What did the text messages say that led to the charge?
There was a threat that was communicated that there was violence going to be conducted at the school.
Was that in like a written message or another video?
It was a communication, and that's what the law covers, is any type of communication.
Was the communication in May around the same time the videos were sent out, or did that come later on in the timeline?
Again, that's part of the investigation that we still haven't completed. All right, thank you all.